Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video topic, we're going to be talking about the Nikita Zaitsev trade, breaking down the financial situation and then the players that were involved in the trade, of course. And the Maple Leafs made a flurry of trades over the Canada Day weekend and signings, and don't worry, I will get to all of them. But that's going to be leading up to a video where I look at their salary cap situation, and we're going to kind of do an armchair GM sort of thing. So without further ado, let's jump right into the trade and take a look at things. So going to Ottawa in this trade is Nikita Zaitsev, Connor Brown, and Michael Carcone. I'm going to start with Michael Carcone because he's probably the least known of the three, and people probably don't really have a gauge of what this guy is. Carcone's 23, he's a left winger. We acquired him from Vancouver in the Josh Levo trade earlier last season. He had 37 points in 55 games with the Marlies last year in the regular season and in the playoffs, but he's kind of a guy that the Leafs didn't really have a spot for. I mean, he could have played with the Marlies no problem, and he could have put up those numbers again next season. But if you look at the trade, it was 3 for 3, and that was definitely done on purpose to balance out the number of contracts coming in and going out. But let's talk about the two main pieces in this deal, which are obviously Nikita Zaitsev and Ceci. Nikita Zaitsev actually requested a trade from the Toronto Maple Leafs earlier in the offseason, citing that Mike Babcock never let him play offense, only defense. The fans were very, very harsh on him. So, I mean, he gets a change of scenery, a fresh start with Ottawa, where he's going to get a chance to play a lot of minutes. So, obviously happy for him and his family there. You never like to critique the person or say bad things about the person, only their game and stuff like that. And I can understand why the fans were kind of harsh on him in Toronto. I mean, one can only take so many icings, but I mean, there's no reason to ever attack the player on a personal level. But let's shift gears over to Ceci here, because it is an interesting situation with a couple of scenarios that could play out, but really only one likely one, and that is he's going to be playing on the Toronto Maple Leafs next season. Kyle Dubas came out and said it, Bob McKenzie came out and said it, so I mean, you don't really need much more than that to know that he's going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf next year. And because the Senators tendered him a qualifying offer, he could just turn around and accept a one-year deal for his previous salary last year, which was $4.3 million. So there's no reason to expect the Leafs getting him any cheaper than that, because he could just turn around and sign that deal whenever he wants to. So expect a one-year deal in that neighborhood to be announced within the coming days or the coming weeks for Ceci. Now, there is an interesting scenario where the Leafs could just give him the league minimum salary and load up the signing bonuses and then just ship him off to a team that's looking to hit the cap floor. But Bob McKenzie coming out and Kyle Dubas coming out saying that this player is going to be on our team next year does carry weight to it. I mean, neither of those guys had to say that, so I put a lot of stock in that. But, I mean, financials aside, Ceci's pretty much the exact same player as Nikita Zaitsev. So, I mean, the Leafs get to shed those 4 years off of the deal, basically, which is the main upside here. The only thing that I would like to point out is that he did play 22 minutes and 34 seconds a night on the Senators last season, so maybe in a reduced role we see him improve a little bit, kind of like what the Leafs did with Dion Phaneuf a couple of years ago, where they cut his minutes back, they played him with Jake Gardiner, and they were able to flip him later on in the season, coincidentally enough, to the Ottawa Senators. I mean, Ceci does kill penalties, so I mean, that is a plus. But, I mean, that's about it. There's not really too much to get excited about over Ceci, the player. But, I mean, to kind of summarize, I mean, the Leafs do get to shed 4 years of the Nikita Zaitsev deal off their books, basically, and they get to unload Connor Brown's contract, and they get a third-round pick in doing so. So, I mean, overall, it's a win. It's always a win when you can unload problem contracts and clear up some cap space. Cap space is the #1 asset in the NHL, and I mean, for the Leafs, they're going to need every penny, basically, as we're going to see in the videos leading up to the armchair GM that I'm going to make. So click like if you did like the video. Make sure to subscribe, because I will be back for more. I hope I'm getting a little bit more practice and rounding out, especially making eye contact with the camera. That's something that I really want to emphasize here. So thank you very much for watching. If you did make it this far in the video, give me a thumbs up or a comment down below to let me know that you did make it this far into the video, and I will see you in the next one.